Saloni ji, Joy Ma Durga, and thanks for having me.
My absolute pleasure. So there is still so much happening in the world. There's no peace for the wicked, as they say. Let's start with
Yes, alas.
let's start with Africa. There's a lot of unrest going on there, especially with the recent coup in Niger, and it's quite interesting because it's there's ECOWAS, which is the obviously the West African nations getting together at the moment in Ghana, because you've got the pressure from European countries, especially France, trying to put sanctions on the area, the region. The neighbors are now worried in case there's military intervention going to come in through ECOWAS. It's, old colonialist rules. These colonies have never really got their independence. They are still fighting against the old colonists. Can you give us some background and the latest on the ground there, please?
Yeah. So, if ECOWAS intervenes, it's not going to be the first time. They intervened some 6, 7 years back in the Gambia uh, against a coup. I would be very surprised though if ECOWAS goes up against Niger's forces, simply because Niger's forces are extremely well trained by the local standards, and they are also very big. So I don't think even a local superpower like Nigeria would be thinking about intervention very as a cakewalk of any sort. This is number one. Number two, though, we need to recognize that the chaps leading the coup just had the coup. It wasn't for any national interest or anything like that. It was purely because the president was going to get rid of a lot of them. And so, it was one of those things to stall being gotten rid of. The third thing we need to remember is that Nigeria is pushing a very ideological position on this. Normally, I'm not sure if this is the way ECOWAS would have reacted, but Nigeria has its first, not first, but say nth democratically elected president in a country that is very unstable for democratically elected presidents. So he sees this as the sort of, that's an entire coup belt. I think the next 3 or 4 countries east of Niger are all under military rule that's happened recently, starting all the way from Sudan down to Burkina Faso. So I think what's happening is, and this is just my understanding of things, that the Nigerian president is taking this very, very personally. And European sanctions, this is a routine we keep going through every time. Every time there's a coup, there's European sanctions, and then there's good dictators and bad dictators. You see, Al Qaeda wanting to fight Bashar al-Assad are very good Al Qaeda, but Al Qaeda wanting to fight the Americans in Afghanistan are bad Al Qaeda, etc., etc. Pakistan is good dictatorship, Thailand bad dictatorship. I mean, how uh, flexible these moral standards are. You remember Winston Churchill's old joke on the floor of Parliament when he said, though my parents took me to school, took me to freak shows very frequently, what a joy to finally meet the one exhibit that was missing, the spineless wonder on the floor of uh, Westminster. So it's one of those things. The spineless wonder exists in Europe. Nothing you can do about it. Nigeria's reaction is the most surprising of the lot. Uh, I know there's a lot of pushback within ECOWAS against Nigeria's ideological position. But look at it from the Nigerian point of view. If Niger falls and there isn't sufficient punishment, you will have an incentivization of a coup in Nigeria itself.
Mm.
And that is why Nigeria has cut off all power. And the problem is ham handed sanctions like this. How often have we seen this? They only affect the most vulnerable sections of society. Because the 10% of Niger's power that Niger produces by itself is all going for the elite. So it's the hospitals, the schools, the ordinary people that are suffering, not the coup making elites.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.